Hello and welcome back to Pillars of Eternity. We are here at Stormwall Gorge trying to find Persoc, the old mentor and elder of Sagani, before we head over to Dyrford village. And I think he might... Oh. Is this gonna be like a tide situation? Maybe we should set up camp? See how that works? Long day. Just wanted to see how you're holding up. You seem to have a lot of long nights. Well, the Latin key hasn't assassinated me yet, so I guess I can't complain. Not for lack of trying. We've run into like 2 or 3 assassin encounters. A bright side to everything, isn't there? Look, it's been a while since I had a hunting party, but we're in this together now. And even if we were hunting for different things, we're still hunting together. How nice of you. I don't know exactly what's happening to you, but I'll help you find Theos, same as you're doing for me. I will do that. And I still can't get down here. What time is it? Hour 16. And I think it was... Let's try once more. Now, we tried resting for 16 hours, and there was nothing. So, Persoc shouldn't be around here. Unless I missed this part over here. Now, screw that. Let's head on over to Dyrford village. Yoink! And hopefully that's where the lead key are holed up. Or one of their... The second of 3 lead key operations should be in Dyrford. So we should smash that. Yeah, there were ruins in the town. So we should find someone who knows about that. What's this? Medref and some cowled people. An elf idles by the road, watching the village across the river. He knows it as you approach, and the cowled figure standing near him falls silent. Greetings, friend. I've heard of you. Word has it you've been busy in Defiance Bay. I'm busy too, and eager to finish my business and get back to the city. Sounds like we're both too busy to stand around chatting then. Right to the point. Just the kind of person I need to find her. Who? Haven't you heard? There's a murderer on the loose, said to have gone mad with grief, and strangled a dozen healthy children with her own when her own was hollowborn. We've come all the way from Defiance Bay to bring her to justice. Then why are you standing around here? She's hiding out in the village. We'd go in after her ourselves, but the problem is she knows our faces. There's no telling what she'd do if she saw us coming, and we'd like to avoid any further unnecessary bloodshed. Her name's Nifre. She's an Orlan. We want to get her out of town so that you can deal with her cleanly. She knows we're looking for her, but if someone were to convince her it's safe to leave... I smell a rat. If she's a mass murderer, why didn't the Duke send the Crucible Knights after her? The powers that be want to keep things quiet, for obvious reasons. Better not to cause a fuss, and certainly better not to startle her into doing something more drastic. I guess we'll play along for now. She won't know you, it'll be simple. Can we question you about it? What did she do? She's responsible for the murder of all those babies in Defiance Bay, remember? Terrible thing. But we'll make her pay, alright? Remind me again. Elderly, or an Orlan woman, not an elderly. Well, we'll keep a lookout. What do we have here? The Temple of Barath, Dyrford Mill, an inn, Grieving Mother. I think that might be another NPC that we can turn into a PC. A non-playable character that we can turn into a playable character. Good job, Kart. What's in the Temple of Barath? Is there gonna be like a cool vendor in here maybe? Or maybe a quest? Selby and Harbinger Beodmar.
Out with you! I already told you what... I'm sorry. I thought you were one of those ruffians.
He's been beaten! Looks like someone's beaten us here. Is that a pun, Sagani? Because he was beaten?
How may I help you?
What happened to you?
I never saw their faces. Strange hooded men asking about those ruins. Cleoban Relag. Most of the brigands who come through here asking about the ruins are looking for a few ancient trinkets. But these people knew the name, and they were in a hurry.
The leaden key!
They wanted to know where Cleoban Relag was. I tried to keep it from them, but I couldn't hold out forever. I don't know what they were up to, but it can't be good.
That does sound like the leaden key, doesn't it? It does. Is there anything else I can help you with? Can you tell me about where to find the ruins?
The Glanfathan tribe that guards the ruins will kill anyone who trespasses there. And they'll retaliate against us too, if history is any indication. We've had too many fortune seekers stir up trouble of late. If I'm to tell you, I'll need to know your reason for wanting to go.
A dangerous plot is unfolding there. I've got to stop it.
If that's the case, then we may already have trouble headed our way. I'll have to take you at your word. You'll find Cleoban Relag here. Whatever trouble you find there, please end it quietly and try to stay out of the ruins.
Huh! There are ruins to explore, I'm gonna do it. I don't want to steal from the temple, so let's head on back out. We should probably check out that Grieving Mother person. See what she's all about. And we'll also try to find that Orlan, so-called killer.
Or do you merely hide behind them?
Don't pawn your personal problems off on me.
They will use you, cast you off when it suits them. Never speak another word to you.
Maybe don't answer to fiery whore.
Aha! Told. Look at this place. I like it. This would be a nice place to live if you were in this world. Small village. A world traveler. I only require a moment. What are the odds? Stuck in this backwater only to meet the famed champion of Defiance Bay. Baraff's wheel brings mercy today indeed. Perhaps you could help. I don't suppose you saw an elven noblewoman on the road. I'm stuck in this wretched place with the rest of my unit until we find her. I didn't. Same as everyone else in this blazing village. Perhaps you could go speak with Lord Harold at the inn anyway. He'll be grateful for the assistance, and it could be the locals will open up to you about his daughter's disappearance, more than they have to us. Oh, a disappeared nobleman's daughter, eh? Can we charm her? After we find her, of course. Some villagers. I want to steal this.
Nice and slow.
Oh no, don't come over here when I'm gonna steal. So rude. And you're gonna just stare at me. It's like you know what I'm gonna do here. Dude. Are you like the village watchman? And I think we're good. Yoink. Winfrith's Arms and Armory.
I'll see what I can find.
Yoink. Hello, Grieving Mother. The woman looks briefly through you, as if she doesn't know you're there. Oh, I get it. She might be a cipher. This middle-aged peasant woman is dressed in a brown leather cloth draped down to her knees. Her hands are working at separate, stringy, colorless vegetables in a pile before her, stripping the heads off the long, fibrous stems with a paring knife. She discards the stems one by one, placing the heads of the vegetables into the small, cradle-like basket in front of her. She doesn't greet you as you approach. You're not sure she even knows you're there. Hello? She doesn't respond. She may be deaf, but there's no indication she heard you. Study her! At first glance, she seems nothing more than a middle-aged woman. Unremarkable. I mean, she is quite pretty. Maybe less stern than most. who seems more focused on the weaving in her lap than her surroundings. Yet you suddenly notice she's not stripping the vegetables before her any longer. She's weaving, and the vegetable pots are now missing. She still pays you no mind, her brown locks torn and snagged from lack of washing, like many of the townsfolk you've seen. There's a strange blur to her. Even the motions of her hands seem to be playing with threads that lack color, in a shape that lacks interest. It may be that she's half-minded or deaf, but something feels wrong. As you watch, her knitting takes on an odd cadence, and you have a terrible suspicion that something lurks beneath what your eyes are showing you. Focus on her! Her brown hair is long, almost impossibly to the length of her hands. As you follow the streams of her lock downwards, the hair becomes long and black, splitting off into threads of black and silver and wrapping around her hands. She is forming a soul cradle with the threads, braiding a net in front of you, each finger long and sharp like a series of knitting needles, almost hypnotic. The silver and black strands of her head weave together, with strings predominating as the highlights, the black shadowing it. And suddenly you are calm. You are on a plateau almost the height of a tower, several stories high. The plateau is like a stone lying, or like a table lying beneath a clear sky, and beneath the plateau, surrounding it in all directions, a forest, hazy with mist. Although whether it is actual mist, or distance, or recollection. Resting in the curve of a natural arch above you is the great copper bell, half again the size of a man, hanging at attention, as if looking down on you and the events unfolding before you. The plateau is soaked in the sun, and the rock beneath you is rough and warm. The sky forms a cradle around you. You feel different, not disembodied, but you feel your body, your physical contours have changed along with the surroundings. And you hear a soft series of chimes, like wind chimes. At the sound, the scene gains color and texture, as if the sound is beckoning you gently forth, filling your senses and thoughts like mist roiling softly into a sealed chamber. And the chime coaxes you deeper into the memory, and you're certain it is a memory, a warm one. You are on the stone of the plateau, your knees on the warm texture of the ground. Silver, white, shimmering like Adra. The plateau is formed of it, glistening in the sun. You can feel the heat on your skin, your wrists, and your hands. Your hands are in motion. Weaving, not thread, but gathering, tenderly moving along the first movements of Baraf's wheel. Your hands are wet. Your hands are upon the flesh of a newborn child, and you can feel the crowning of a tiny head, turning in your grip, its head slick, wet of the womb. The hands you are wearing and inhabiting have done this many times, and they are practiced and confident. You can feel distant pains in your own head as the head emerges, a stream of fluid from the womb helping the newborn slide forth, and a woman's labored breathing crying out. Focus on the child. As your hands move, you hear the sound of chimes, clear, cutting through the haze of memory. You cannot see where they are coming from, but they are close, and they are meant as comfort. Of that you are certain. Draw it forth. And coached by your hands, every movement causes the chimes to sound again. Almost eagerly, the child comes forth, and as it does, your hands are in motion, weaving, moving along the length of a soft wet rope. No, an umbilical cord from the legs of the naked woman before you. You are holding a small child, still wet from the womb, before you. The child cries out, its cry full of life, full of soul, the ringing of chimes echoing in its thoughts, filling it with its welcome. The soul is blurred at the edges, as if you are viewing a soul from within a soul. But it is there. It is alive. The woman before you is weeping, and at her first cry, her hands reach out for it. Give her the child. You surrender the child to her, something you have done many times before, and as your hands move, the chimes echo the movement, and you realize the chimes are hanging from the cords on your wrist, and where once they echoed in the memory, they are now echoing in the child's mind as well. The chimes are intended to welcome the child, to be its first gentle greeting into the world, a soothing sound guided by the tender motions of your wrists. You are helping to weave its thoughts, its perceptions, and the experience. The woman laughs with a ragged joy, laughing from a parched throat. I know that feel. Her emotions seem soothed, but the physical demands of labor have left her exhausted. But the child is here, the child is safe, and all atop the plateau is peaceful, calm, distant, flattening out as the memory persists. Pull back, and let me have a sip of Coke, to wet my parched throat. With effort, the scene bleeds of color, and your mind becomes your own again. There's no pull, no anchor, yet the sound of the chimes remain. As they existed in the memory, they sound here as well, and they are hanging from woven braids on the wrists of the woman before you. Even as your head is spinning from the touch of her mind, the sounds of the chimes on her wrists are sharp and clear, as if coaxing you back to the world. The woman still sits before you, but she is nothing like what you first saw. She's wearing black, shredded garments that drape over her form like streamers. Her hair is streaks of black and run through with silver. Her age is almost impossible to tell. She simply feels old, like a crumpled watchtower. As she lifts her head to face you, you see that her hair is draped across the front of her face like a veil. What you first saw of her was a mental glamour of some sort, unconscious, and you realize what you see is not what the world sees, and you are perhaps the first to see her true self. Still, you don't sense a threat in the realization. If anything, you feel a sense of relief from the figure. You can hear her thoughts, and she is glad to at least have been seen. Who are you?
I am seen, but the eyes of others do not remember. You were the first to see me as I am, the call stripped aside.
There's a light touch in her mind, a caress, and her left hand mirrors the motion of the touch, reaching up to the air between you. You hear the chime on her wrist sound softly. Her hand moves as if pantomiming, resting on your cheek at a distance, and she speaks softly and slowly.
Your memories. A cadence of wheels on a caravan track. Fever. Questions by running water. Violence in a night's campfire. Arrows in the dark. And fleeing. Falling rock and cracking stone. And a storm. The storm.
She's definitely a cipher, right?
The storm that brushed you. Did its screaming wake you from your mind's cradle? Your memory of it is painful. Its cry is difficult to ignore. It's like a child. Many children crying out.
I encountered a bioac, yes, and it did something to me. Her hand withdraws shyly, the chime sounding softly once again. The woman stands uncertainly, as if she has been sitting for some time, or is too weak to bear her own weight. You notice her cheekbones are tight, her face gaunt, yet while her stance is weak, she seems determined to stand before you.
You are able to see me.
It is almost a question. You realize suddenly she doesn't seem to know what you saw when you looked at her, the image on the plateau. Yet the image was so clear, so sharp, you're surprised she didn't feel you there.
To see me is a rare gift. A watcher's gift.
Ah, so if I was a cipher or had a cipher in the party, we might unlock something here. I've never been able to do that with a living person, except with you.
So many questions, thoughts, whirling like storm winds. That storm still roars through you, deep beneath your thoughts, yet muted and secret, like an underground river. I cannot tell if it is carving new channels, or eroding what keeps your true strength buried. The fact that you could hear it at all, survive it, is something few have ever done. Your power will grow stronger with each soul you touch, as it allowed you to reach out to mine.
There is silence, and although it seems to last for but a heartbeat, In your thoughts, it stretches out between the two of you, like the pull between your minds. You blink, take a breath, and then you realize she wants to ask you a question, yet can't form the words, as if assembling them is painful, or there simply are not enough pieces. "Ooh, do you wish to travel with me?" You feel a wave of fear, gusted with a strength of relief, although oddly, her expression does not change. Then fear dissipates, and you feel strength and certainty, as if the plateau from her memory lies beneath you, and a calm sky looks down upon you. Yay, we got her! I'm probably gonna recruit her, because having a cipher around is probably gonna be pretty useful. I'm thinking maybe we'll... should we get rid of Sagani or Tikana? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And then we are going to explore the rest of Dyrford village and head to Cleaban Relag and see what the Legend Key is up to. However, that is going to be a tale for another day. Please like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next time.